It was good news for golfers as golf courses were allowed to reopen as part of stage one of Ontario's reopening. Joining me now from Summerheights Golf Links are Rory and Kathy. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Hello.
you.
This afternoon.
All right, so let's start off with the process leading up to it. Obviously, it was maybe a little bit of flux. You weren't sure what was going to happen. So maybe talk about how you were following and preparing for the season without maybe knowing exactly when and how you were going to be able to reopen.
Well, I have to give credit to my wife, Kathy. She's on Facebook, and she was watching what was going on out in Alberta and Saskatchewan and some of the other provinces that were allowing golf before Ontario got going. And she found out what was going on. Kathy?
Pretty much followed NAGA, which would give you all the guidelines per golf course. And it was pretty much BC that I was following, and just following their guidelines because they weren't giving us any, and just trying to be prepared because we knew when they did say go, it would be go, and we wanted to be as prepared as we could. So there wasn't much change once they gave us our guidelines in comparison to theirs, but it was still pretty stressful the last few days getting everyone in place and all the staff properly trained.
It certainly gave us time to prepare the pro shop and come up with a plan on how we were going to have golfers enter and exit the pro shop. So that was a big advantage to be able to see what was happening, even at some of the other local stores in Cornwall, how they were treating crowd control.
Absolutely. Now, before we get into maybe some more of the specifics about how that's working, I want to talk about that moment because, Kathy, like you said, it was a moment of when they said go, you went, right? So talk to me about how you both felt hearing the news that it was a go.
Well, we were very excited. We really didn't know when to expect it, but no, we were very excited. Now, then, of course, I wouldn't call it panic set in, but we definitely said, okay, now we got to make sure this is going to work for us, and we kind of walked through the process. And again, Premier Ford announced that on the Thursday, so it gave us a couple of days to tweak what we'd been already thinking about doing.
Absolutely.
But we didn't have any of our team in yet, so those last 2 days we brought them all in each department and had to train them on what we're going to do, the procedures, all the policies. And of course, once Premier Ford said on Thursday at 1 o'clock, golf course is open, I'm not exaggerating. My phone, the tee times, everything was ding, ding, ding. Like people were booking. We were overwhelmed.
Absolutely. We can only imagine the demand or we know the demand that was out there. So let's talk a little bit about some of the policies and procedures that you alluded to and what's being done to make sure that staff and golfers are being kept safe.
Right, Kathy, you were...
Well, I guess when you first arrive, we'll start the policies, I guess, as you're arriving, you're going to be greeted by a greeter. So that greeter had to be trained in asking if everyone felt well that was in the vehicle, and some of the things that they would expect when they came, as in you have to keep all your equipment in your car, then proceed to the pro shop, check in, then go back, pick up a cart or the pull cart, go back, get your equipment, and go to the starter. So each team player had to know each procedure and things that were happening. It's gone very well, but it is a lot of the old regulars that have been here for years that never had to have a tee time or never had to be stopped. They are adjusting. Everything's going good now. It went good right from the start. There's just been a few bumps. People don't realize, oh, I can't bring my bag over there. And you can't. So we're trying to be, everyone's being as nice as can be, and our staff, our team is amazing.
Excellent. So let's end on that note. And what can somebody watching, if they haven't maybe booked a tee time yet, if they haven't learned any of these regulations, well, what is maybe the most important thing that you'd like people to know before they come and golf? What message would you like to send to them?
Well, I would certainly suggest they obviously need the tee off time, but
they must have a tee off time before they arrive.
They must have a tee off time before they arrive. They shouldn't be here any more than 15 minutes ahead of their reserved tee off time. And just to expect it's going to be a lot different than you just unfortunately when you get up and look out the the window and say, oh, it's a nice day to play golf. I'm going to jump in the car and drive out to Summerheights. You got to first off book yourself come on out, but book yourself a tee off time. And when you get here, expect that it's going to be a little different.
Absolutely, but it's of course very exciting that you have been able to reopen, both for the golfers and of course you and your staff. And hats off for all your hard work to ensure the safety of everybody. And thank you so much for joining me, both of you.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity to share our COVID-19 experience here at Summerheights.
We want to see everybody out. Just come out and have a good time. Enjoy yourself.